the Earth is a living organism. And Linda Mitchell's on the line. I'm from King's Lynn in Norfolk. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
Now, you think it's some other beings trying to tell us their fundamental science structures?
Something like that, yes.
Explain, Linda.
Well, when we sent out the Pioneer spacecraft, they carried with them our message to other intelligent life forms in the form of diagrams showing man and woman, our planet in relation to the rest of the solar system, and at the top there were two circles with an adjoining line which represent a hydrogen atom, which is our fundamental science.
So, Linda, are you saying that's their way of communicating with us?
I believe so, yes.
Well, I mean, some people may laugh, but there are others who think that's true. Dermot O'Regan also believes that crop circles are a sign of communication from other planets. He says he's seen UFOs, and he thinks the crop circles are like hieroglyphics. But others would rubbish that. Ronald Ashley, good morning, Ronald.
Good morning.
Now, you're convinced it's all a hoax?
I certainly am, yes. I've got two reasons for saying that. The first is that they're quite easily made. You simply need a wooden board, some rope...
I've got your diagram here, Ronald, so you tell us about it, and I'll hold it up so everybody can see.
Fine, I can see that. But the point is, that one there just demonstrates it just requires two people. One holds the rope at the centre of the circle, one at the edge, and you simply walk around pulling a weighted board, as simple as that. But now, in that example there, I've marked on some tractor lines. Now, invariably, these patterns are crossed by tractor lines, and that's how the people get to them without leaving a trail behind them.
Would anybody really go through that trouble, though, Ronald?
It's simply, it's fun, isn't it? I mean, why not? Also, it creates a stir. I'm quite sure there are plenty of students and such like who would get quite a kick out of doing that. And the bottom line is this: if there is a simple explanation, and that is a simple explanation, then why do we need to believe the more exotic? I think people like fantastic answers to these phenomena.
Ronald, that's a fair enough assumption, but that's what we want to talk about. The truth behind the circles. Are they a hoax, or are there really aliens coming from other planets? Call us now and tell us what you think. Debbie.
Thank you. Sounds like a good night out, Ron. Let's go out and make a corn circle.
But you've seen the movie, you've kept the open lines busy with your views, and still it is a complete mystery. But on People Today this morning, we're aiming to unravel the mystery of Britain's crop circles. Are they the product of an alien life force, or are they the ultimate in practical jokes? Earlier in our programme, we showed a film inspired by two men who caught the imagination of the public with their investigation. They're here with me now, Pat Delgado and Colin Andrews. And don't forget, you can put your views to either of them on 061 814 0814. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Are we not looking at the most magnificent hoax there has ever been?
Oh, certainly not. No, not by a long way. Colin and I can tell a hoax as easy as anything, which we'll explain later. But this is a really profound mystery. And Adrian, you only have to go into one of those circles, a genuine one, and you will see immediately, and as many people and scientists have done before, that they stand there aghast and say, what has visited this place and created this beautiful pattern? Because we're not talking about circles only now. We're just talking about enormous complex patterns which have evolved. And as Colin and I have always said, that this is escalating in such a manner that it doesn't compare with anything else.
I think I'd like to add to that, Adrian, too, that the whole story really still has to be told. There's something has to be very badly wrong here. After a decade of intensive research, we're still trying to convince people that of the points, the features, which we know gives this the most extraordinary phenomenon probably possibly ever. We are looking here at ground markings which are evolving in complexity, in density, in volume. These things are appearing in snow cover on the hills in Afghanistan. They are appearing in the paddy rice fields in Japan, in snow cover in the Arctic Circle, in conifer trees 40 feet high in Saskatchewan and in Hampshire. This phenomenon is very, very much more involved than many people believe. We're looking at plants in which their crystalline structure is changing within those circles. This cannot be created by human feet.
And also, just a most interesting point, Adrian, is that a lot of people think these are associated only with wheat, but it's not. They appear in barley, in tall ryegrass, marsh grass, in tobacco plants, sweet corn.
At the same time of year, every time?
Whenever the crop is receptive to being laid down. Obviously, if it's just soil, well, we're waiting for that one. But if the crop is receptive, then it can have a pattern created in it. I mean, even potato fields and Brussels sprouts, cabbages, and things like that have had.
You name it, it'll appear. Okay,
right. Yes.
All right. You're saying it's not a hoax. What about the scientific evidence? What about whirlwinds? I've heard that one bandied around. How do you feel about that?
Well, yes, this is rather an old feeling of a lot of people that because it seems to be rotating, it's got to be created by something that is rotating.
An energy, a force.
Yes, that's right. But I think this is one of the many red herrings that's been drawn over this subject. Several years ago, it was offered as a design for creating circles that it would be a whirlwind, and it needed a hill where the wind could come round and over, a vortex form, it would drop down, create the circle and leave it there. But we've had circles where there are no hills and it's just flat ground. And of course, everybody knows a whirlwind will damage a crop and it leaves a trail because the whirlwind itself moves with the ambient force of the wind. And therefore, it is beyond any doubt at all that it is not a whirlwind.
It's not meteorological. It's not meteorological. We worked very closely with Bracknell Met Office, and we were receiving all of the data from the centre of activity in central southern England over a very long period in 1987. And there's absolutely no correlation in the Met data to support a meteorological theory at all.
Right, well, let's go to our open line because we have our first caller, Omar Fowler, on the line. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now, what would you like to say?
Well, good morning, Pat. Good morning, Colin.
Hello, Omar.
Hi. I'd just like to go back to 1985 when the SIGAC group, the UFO investigation group that we run in Surrey, became interested in the circles because we had a report from a retired school teacher, age 67, a woman living in Stockbridge, that she'd seen 5 circular lights in the sky on the morning of the 7th of August 1985. 2 days later, these were a circle pattern of 5 circles was found in a wheat field just south of Andover, and it was reported in the local paper, which also carried photographs.
So, Omar, are you actually saying that you believe there's some intelligent life form creating these?
Yes, I believe we're confronted by the actions of an alien intelligence here.
Do you two agree with that?
Well, there's no proof. Nobody has ever actually seen some sort of craft. First of all, you've got to be standing in a field, and which is receptive to being laid down. And then you've got to be able to see some sort of craft come down. You've got to be there to see something going on, that it is flattening the crop in some way. And then when the craft moves away, there you have evidence that the craft actually created a circle. Now, we're only talking about circles as we millions of people know by now, but what about the complex patterns? You've got not only to be able to see the craft doing the creation itself, beyond doubt, but that doesn't explain the more complex
Well, you say it
patterns.
doesn't explain, but what about the pictures then, I know that we are about to show now, taken by a Japanese photographer when he was over here? Now, if you could talk me through what the first one's about,